We all know the nagging urge to quench our thirst, a universal need across land animals. But what about fish? Living in water, do they ever feel thirsty? It seems odd, but fish have their own unique ways of managing hydration. While they don't experience thirst as we do, their bodies constantly regulate water intake and balance. So why can't they just drink all the water around them? Let's dive into the science behind fish hydration and uncover the surprising truth. The thirsty land animals. Why we need water. Before we dive into the watery world of fish, let's first take a moment to appreciate the basic need for water that unites all living creatures on land. Think about it. Humans lose water constantly throughout the day. We sweat, we breathe, and we use the bathroom, because who doesn't need a bathroom break now and then? This constant loss of water is why our bodies send us that loud and clear signal. Go grab a drink. We need water for basic survival. It helps keep everything functioning, from our brains to our organs. Without it, we wouldn't last long. Land animals, whether they're tiny insects or giant elephants, all have similar needs for hydration. And when we feel thirsty, it's because our bodies are telling us we've lost enough water to make a difference, and it's time to replenish. Fish, the hydration experts. Now, you may think that fish, surrounded by water, wouldn't have to worry about staying hydrated. They're constantly swimming through it after all. But despite living in water, fish still have to deal with their own version of thirst by regulating their internal fluid balance. It's not as simple as drinking whenever they feel thirsty. They need to maintain the right levels of water and salts within their bodies, because too much or too little of either could lead to serious issues. This process of regulating internal water levels in fish is called osmoregulation, and yes, it's just as complicated as it sounds. Osmoregulation is how fish control the movement of water into and out of their bodies. Imagine it like a fish trying to keep their body's fluid balance as precise as a NASA engineer calibrating the fuel tank on a spaceship. Too much or too little water can throw everything off balance. Without osmoregulation, fish would either become too salty or too watery. This would create all sorts of problems for their internal systems, making it impossible for them to function properly. So, just because fish are surrounded by water doesn't mean they can just drink all they want without consequences. Osmoregulation is the unsung hero of fish survival. The two worlds, freshwater versus saltwater fish. Number 1. Freshwater fish, the overhydrated struggle. Freshwater fish live in environments where the salt concentration is very low compared to the fluid inside their bodies. This means that water is constantly trying to flow into the fish's body through their skin and gills. You can imagine this like living in a world where you're constantly in a sauna and you just can't stop sweating. Freshwater fish have to work hard to get rid of the excess water that's trying to enter their bodies. They do this by producing large amounts of dilute urine. In fact, freshwater fish are like that one friend who always has to run to the bathroom every 5 minutes. Except their bathroom break involves flushing out excess water to maintain balance. Number 2. Saltwater fish, the dehydrated warriors. On the other side of the coin are saltwater fish, who face the opposite problem. They live in an environment where the salt concentration is much higher than inside their bodies. So, in order to keep from drying out like a raisin in the sun, saltwater fish have to constantly battle the loss of water to their salty surroundings. Instead of water rushing into their bodies, it's actually leaving them. The solution? Drink seawater, of course. But that comes with its own set of problems, as saltwater is, well, salty. To deal with this, saltwater fish have evolved special mechanisms that allow them to drink seawater and excrete the excess salt through their gills. It's a delicate balancing act. Too much salt or too little water, and things start to go wrong. Saltwater fish are basically the ultimate dehydrated warriors, trying to stay hydrated in a world that's trying to dry them out at every turn. So, do fish get thirsty? Now that we've established how fish regulate their water levels, let's tackle the million-dollar question. Do fish actually get thirsty? It's not an easy question to answer. The short answer is no, they don't get thirsty in the way we do. Humans have a specific part of our brain called the hypothalamus that triggers our thirst sensation when we need water. But fish don't have a brain that works the same way. Instead, they rely on a whole different set of mechanisms to detect changes in their internal water balance. That said, scientific studies have shown that some fish species will increase their drinking behavior when they are dehydrated or when their bodies are out of balance. This suggests that, while fish might not experience thirst in the traditional sense, they still have a way of knowing when it's time to hydrate. Think of it like a fish version of, "Oh no, I'm running low on water," but without the voice in their head screaming for a bottle of water. Instead, their bodies react to the imbalance, and they take action. It's not the conscious, "I'm thirsty, where's my drink?" moment we have, but it's still a form of water regulation that helps them survive. Osmoregulation, the unsung hero of fish survival. So, while fish might not feel thirst in the same way humans do, they are constantly working hard to keep their internal water levels in check. Osmoregulation is a vital process that ensures fish can live in environments that would otherwise throw them off balance. Whether they're producing a stream of urine to get rid of excess water, freshwater fish, or gulping down seawater to stay hydrated, saltwater fish, osmoregulation is the key to fish survival. Their gills, kidneys, and even specialized cells play a crucial role in maintaining the right balance of salt and water in their bodies. Some fish, like salmon, take this to another level, adapting between freshwater and saltwater as they migrate, a feat that requires an extraordinary level of physiological flexibility. Others, like sharks, have unique ways of retaining urea to keep their internal fluids balanced with their salty surroundings. While we might never know exactly what a fish feels when it comes to hydration, one thing is clear: fish have developed some pretty amazing adaptations to regulate their water intake. And even though their methods may not involve the same thirst cues we experience, they're still doing the very same thing, keeping their fluids in check and making sure they stay hydrated in their watery homes. So the next time you find yourself parched, sipping your favorite beverage, remember, even fish are working overtime to stay hydrated in their own way, whether they're swimming in a freshwater pond or cruising through the salty sea. And that, my friend, is true dedication to hydration. Thanks for diving into the fascinating world of fish hydration with us. If you learned something new, or if you're just in awe of how fish manage to stay balanced in their watery worlds, don't forget to hit that like and make sure to subscribe. Got any questions or fun facts about fish? Drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. Until next time, stay hydrated, and don't forget to fish for more knowledge.